They are rage, brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear, until it is done.
Hello, Tenno. If you'd like to skip to the juicy bits, just check out the links in the description to the builds mentioned in this video on Overframe. Back in 2018 when I started playing Warframe, I just wanted the biggest, toughest frame. I didn't want to think too hard and I just wanted to fly through the missions so I could start understanding what the game was actually about. At the time, I was being told to learn Oberon or play Rhino, and 2018 Sam was not smart enough for the Brobron lifestyle. So I picked Rhino and rushed towards Jackal. Starting to play the game around the release of Plains of Eidolon was not a great idea though, and I ended up dropping the game because I just couldn't get a hang of all these different mechanics, and the sudden open world area in my shooty ninja parkour game. Over the years I tried getting back into Warframe, and then March 2025 rolled around. Warframe 1999 had been out for a while, and I was tempted back into the game while on holiday. I lost my old account, so I had to make a new one, and then started the grind towards Rhino again. But something had changed. I was actually understanding the game and enjoying myself. I was looking up stuff on the wiki. That's wiki.warframe, fuck fandom. And researching the many frames that had released to see which ones I could play. That was when I found out about the Shield Maiden herself, Hildryn. Released only a few months after I had abandoned Warframe in 2019, Hildryn arrived with update 24.4, Buried Debts. Her blueprint available via the Voxelaris, and parts from grinding the Exploiter Orb, Mommy Spider. Alternatively, you can yoink the big lady from the market for 325 plat with a built-in potato. Let's take a look at her abilities. The passive on Hildryn gives a much longer shield gate period than other frames, 3.5 seconds, but you won't find yourself using this too often if you maintain your shields using the tactics that we'll talk about later. As the first ability, we have Balefire, Hildryn's exalted weapon that fires bolts of electricity and an explosive AoE for some high damage. Next up on second is Pillage, Hildryn's subsim ability that steals a percentage of shields and armor to regen her own shields and build up overshields. This will be the main way you maintain your shields on Hildryn when you're up against Grineer and Corpus based enemies. We'll deal with the infested problem later. On this build, we will be taking advantage of Nako's subsim ability as Hildryn's third, Bright Bonnet. This is a fantastic ability to support your allies with a bit of energy now and then, but primarily is being used for its ability strength buff, and its synergy with our Arcane choices. Just remember to toss out a mushroom or two, and you're ready to go. Finally, while Warframe's parkour is legendarily satisfying, there's just something that tickles me right about frames who have alternative movement, and Hildryn's 4 is about taking to the skies and throwing down balefire charges like you're a
B-17 bomber.
Excuse me. While blowing enemies into the air and milking energy orbs from them, tapping 4 again lets you slam into the ground and knock down enemies around you. For Arcanes, running Molt Augmented will allow your ability strength to build up more and more as you play lengthier mission types, up to a 60% bonus once you've killed 250 enemies, which will be quite easy. But why do we want such a high ability strength bonus? Because of our second Arcane, Arcane Expertise. This turns all the ability strength buffs you've been working on into buffs to your max shields that are additive to mods like redirection. This is just the first tier of synergy, because next up we have Aegis Gale, which turns the alt fire on Hildryn's balefires during Aegis Storm, her 4, into a volley of blasts that deal 15% of Hildryn's max shields. It's a lot of damage, and your rotation and mission is super simple. Activate 4, which will trigger Aegis Storm and automatically activate balefires, if you don't already have them out. Use Free to throw down some shrooms and buff your damage. Then, path between shrooms and use alt fire to deal heavy damage to the enemies around you. Double tap 2 now and then to get yourself some shields back, and strip the defenses of enemies within range. To facilitate this, you will want to have 2 yellow pieces of candy in your Hildryn, buffing her cast speed, and then for the other 3 slots, I recommend going for ability strength, as that'll be increasing shields and overall damage. Now, the big issue. Infested. They don't have enough shields or strippable armor to keep a Hildryn going through the many missions they have on StarChart. So what's the solution? Rakta Dark Dagger. With a high status chance build on the stabby stick, you will be triggering the radiation status effect very often, taking part of the damage dealt back as shields. This will work outside of infested missions too, so if you forget to tap 2, you can turn into a battlefield Beyblade to regain your shields before taking off into the air again. For getting the most damage out of your balefires, I recommend checking out Ninjase's build guides on Overframe. Those cover some good setups for different factions, and I'm constantly playing around with those to try and cause some extra destruction. With all the information here, you should be able to solo the entire star chart using Hildryn. Older and weaker versions of this build were used to do just that when I was tackling the gauntlet of Steel Path. Take a look in the description for links to my Overframe guides that'll detail exactly the sort of mods you're wanting to run on Hildryn. Of course, if you don't have every single primed mod, you don't need to go out and buy them right now. Just play with the regular versions, see if you like them before making any investment into either, plat for buying them or time for grinding for them.